Viewers and subscribers, welcome to another wonderful episode of the Bourbon Jamaican. We got Dropping Nukes, capital D, capital N for Nukes, Brady the Great, and of course yours truly. Today we got Silver Grove out of New Riff, and apparently what this is 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, so a lot of people in 23 hyped up the Silver Grove, and it made a lot of people's top 10 lists. So we're excited to compare and contrast. We are going to do these blind and tell you our thoughts on it. The proof range is very similar in range. What's it coming in at, Brady?
The 2023 is 113.5 proof, and the 2024 is 116.2 proof.
So both of them's age statement is 4 years, and for a 4-year-old bourbon, guys, it's you can't complain about it. It's young, but it's great.
Yeah, it's really good. Both of these have a mash bill of 65% corn, 30% rye, and 5% malted barley. But the difference is last year's 30% rye was malted rye. This year's was not. The whole gimmick of Silver Grove is that in Silver Grove, Kentucky, they have rick houses for New Riff. These are the top 2 floors of those rick houses only, and they're blended together at barrel strength.
Yeah.
Last year they did not do a rye. This year they did a rye as well as the bourbon. We tried the rye. We didn't get one, and we didn't really want to compare it with the bourbons anyway. This is just strictly to compare the difference between last year and this year's.
Yeah, it's had me giggling because every time it says Silver Grove, I'm thinking of that Waka Flocka song "Party on Grove Street."
I always think of Grove Street in GTA.
That's crazy. All right, so we'll be starting from right, our left, your right, blind. Well, we're starting from our left, this side, which is your right side.
MSRP on both of these is $55. Of course, the 2023 you probably won't find anymore since it's been a year since it came out. But like Chris said, it got like a lot of praise last year. There were several YouTubers and reviews online that said, "Man, this is really good." So I had to get one.
Really good. This smells like a dessert.
Yeah. So I've only had an ounce out of last year's, and then I poured this today. I thought it was pretty decent. I just didn't reach for it all that often. So we're gonna try it. I'm getting like a heavy caramel on this nose.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that rye spice in the nose too.
Up front on this one, I immediately get caramel. I get a really nice like barrel char spiciness.
Woo, that's hot.
And then I get like this super syrupy fruit. It's jammy.
What proof is these drinking?
The 23 is 113.5. The 24 is 116.2.
The sweetness comes in the finish though, right? Like the initial finish is real spicy, real hot, but once it settles down, you pick up on a lot of that sweetness and like I don't know, I get a little bit of vanilla on that thing.
Yeah, I'm
getting it on the nose for sure.
Yeah, the nose is very fruity and very desserty.
It's very unique. I mean, compared to some of the other 4 years that we've tried in the past, like
this is like the amount of flavor, considering this is 4 years, is crazy. Yes, you get the proof. It hits you like it tastes higher than 116, whichever one this is. Yeah. But man, it's got so much flavor. To me, this is almost like a cherry pie filling. It's like a heavy caramel, brown sugar, vanilla, and I get like this syrupy, like cherry. It's dark enough where it's almost like a raspberry kind of taste.
For 4 years, it's very surprising. Let's look at the color profile. It's like very dark, so you can tell it's almost like a double oak almost.
Oh yeah, and I was kind of turned off when they said it was 4 years, but I tried it at the bar yesterday because I wanted to know if it was any good or not. But considering what you get for $55, I don't even know which one this is, but I'm buying this all day at $55.
Absolutely. All right, so we're moving on to glass number 2.
This one's like heavy chocolate. Really malty.
Mm-hmm. This one's a lot heavier, and it doesn't drink as hot. Yeah, the first glass is definitely would be my go-to.
This has like a chocolate caramel. It almost reminds me of a Milky Way because I start to get like a little bit of nougat at the end. It tastes like a candy bar, and then it turns into that heavy barrel char like the last one did.
It's a little dry on the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this one's the first one's a lot lighter. This one's almost a little bit heavier.
Yeah, glass 2 drinks a lot. I think glass 2 almost tastes like it's like 10 proof lower than glass 1.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference. But man, that thing is sweet. I don't get any fruit on it at all.
I just get that caramel, chocolatey, char, vanilla.
Yeah, I'm. It's a little more rye forward too. I'm getting that baking spice on the back end.
Yep.
Getting that candy bar up front. Baking spice, a little bit of citrus.
Yeah, as it's going down, you're starting to get that warm hug though. On the second one, I'm starting to feel the heat on it a little bit as I sip.
Yeah, I take a sip and I try to talk, and I'm just like salivating because of how like proofy these are.
Yeah, just sprouting water.
This is the first thing that's came out of New Riff as well, barrel proof. So they didn't disappoint.
If you go back to some of our past videos, we've done a couple of different lineups of New Riff stuff. So with it being right up the street and one of our favorites, we do try to get whatever they put out.
So going back to glass 1 now, after having a couple sips out of glass 2, it's still completely different. It's heavy fruit. It's almost like a plum. It's a really dark, like dense fruit note. It's still syrupy. It doesn't drink as hot now.
Yeah, I think glass 1 is definitely
I think
the one for me.
I think glass 2 is more flavorful up front, and glass 1 is more flavorful on the finish.
Yeah.
I think that's where they differ. So
You get a lot more oakiness in glass 2 than you do glass 1.
Yeah, you do.
I would
think
agree
that's
with
what the
that.
heaviness. That's why it feels. It
Yeah.
drinks a little more heavy to me. Like this one is like a smooth, light
Yeah.
finish, and this one is almost like coating almost.
It's interesting how they're that different. Like, I understand like
Same
chocolate.
mash bill?
Yeah, chocolate versus fruit, and one's malted. Okay, sure. The malted one's probably the chocolate one. But it's interesting to me how one is really strong up front, and like glass 2. Glass 2 is really heavy sweetness up front, spicy finish, but the finish is short. Glass 1, it's up front. You're kind of like,
All
what am I
the way.
tasting? And
All
then
the
it
way.
just slowly develops. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like they're aged at the same place. It's a very similar mash bill, but they progress differently, which is fascinating to me.
But I don't know about y'all, but I think I've guzzled mine because they're both delicious. But I'm ready to reveal my winner. My winner is definitely glass number 1, and let me know when y'all ready to reveal.
I'm gonna have to also pick glass 1. Glass 2 is not bad by any means.
No.
I prefer a finish. I like how it's sweet up front, but whenever a bourbon doesn't have a long or a memorable finish to me, it makes me just go back and sip it again because I want to taste it again.
You're looking for
But
that finish.
it's short-lived. It just goes. So I would rather have one sip and sit here for a minute and appreciate it.
Go back to glass 2 real quick before
Well, my glass is gone.
before you reveal. Go back to glass 2, Brady, because the third sip on mine, the spiciness isn't quite there no more. And that's obviously going back and forth a couple of different times, but on my third sip, I gotta total different profile on there.
And it's like, I was gonna say nitpicking, but it's really not. I mean, I guess you could say we're nitpicking here, trying to figure out a favorite, but it's an easy preference. Do you prefer the fruit or do you prefer the chocolate? For me, it's the fruit.
For me, it's definitely fruit. It just depends, though.
I'm about to try glass 2 again.
It just depends. For me, it does depend on like what you're having for dinner or if what you're pairing it with. I can drink all different kind of bourbon, but between these two, for me, I'll definitely go with the fruit over the chocolate.
So going back to glass 2, I don't get the spice hardly at all, but it's starting to get more floral to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. More, almost like a citrus touch of like a lemon zest almost.
This, maybe it's because we just had it, but the 6-year malted rye, this glass 2 reminds me of it a lot, which makes me think it has the malted rye in it, because I'm getting that caramel followed by that slight floral taste.
Finish.
So yes, glass 1 is my pick. I'm not going to say it's a landslide, it's just what I prefer. These are both solid for $55. I would definitely pick them up. If you liked last year's, I would definitely consider picking up this year's just to see how different they are. Or go upstairs and try it at the bar. It was $8 for a whole ounce of it. So
Yeah, that's not bad.
can't beat it.
Alright, so I'm ready. Drum roll. 24.
Class 1 was 24. So did you pick class 1 as well?
It was, I mean, honestly, for me, it was a coin flip. If you're here and historically have watched our videos, you know that I'm a chocolate kind of guy. So it was truly a toss up for me. I kept going back to it, but I would say that 24 drinks smoother than 23 did, and we didn't quite drink to the spice that 23 did. You know what I mean? It went down a little bit easier and more enjoyable overall.
I know we said up front that 24 was really hot, but it was also the first sip of this wine. Going back to it now, I mean, to finish my glass because I loved it, it still drinks right at that 116, but man, it's got so much flavor because now I'm starting to get like a chocolate covered cherry now. I'm not getting as syrupy as a fruit, where now I'm getting more of a chocolate covered fruity.
Palate's opening up.
Yeah,
and you're getting different tastes.
And it's really solid. I mean,
and I guess that's what most bourbon, like your first glass, you kind of like, man, that's amazing. But then if you can go back and a few minutes later or however long, and you can sip it and you're getting that same flavor profile, and it's just opening up more doors, and your taste buds are just tantalizing, and it's great all the way around.
I'm still, as I said yesterday, I still get a vanilla note on it.
And as always, guys, I mean, neither of these were a fresh crack. You're going to get your true review off of something that's been open. Granted, the 2024 has been open for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But I mean, I bought it. I went home yesterday and poured an ounce out of it, so that way we had a true review, since the 23 was missing an ounce as well. Even though it's been open for 6 months. Even though it's been open for 6 months. Yeah, just to try to balance it out. I mean, so that way they have about the same air time. We poured these about an hour before filming this as well. So I mean, this is what you're gonna get.
Yep.
And it's hard to beat at $55.
So with that being said, guys, if you made it this far in the video, be on the lookout for us this Friday. We are in honor of Derby weekend. A bunch of us are getting together and we're going to go tour New Riff. We're going to pick up a couple different bottles at New Riff. We're going to do some bourbon hunting, collectively as a group, and really have a great day on Friday. So be on the lookout for that.
And then on Saturday, Dropping Nukes and I will be at the Derby, and we'll be trying to go live. So if you see us, come up, get with us, give us a shout out.
We'll be passing out shots on Saturday at the Derby, so be on the lookout for us.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you're new, if you made it this